Are you thinking about trying ayahuasca? Okay, I tried it, and here's 8 things I wish I would have known. So here you be. Number one, see if before you even go do ayahuasca, see if you can just sit, like meditate, or just sit quietly, eyes closed or open, whatever. Try it both ways, for 5 to 6 hours. You might even push it to 10 to 12 hours, because trips last that long sometimes. I had a trip that was about 10 to 12 hours on ayahuasca, and I've talked to other people who had similar trips of similar length. Um, so before you even try ayahuasca, try just sitting without taking anything, drink water or whatever, but just sit, work your way up to sitting for, I don't know, 10 hours. See if you can do it. Because when you do, um, stuff from your life will just bubble up, in your from your subconscious, and it's kind of similar to ayahuasca. And you just want to, I don't know, just get used to it. See if you can do it. Um, oh, and also, tip number one be, see if you can quit your phone and your social media, and your iPad, maybe even your computer. I don't know, depends. But see if you can quit social media for a month beforehand, because it makes you like super ADD, and even just, I mean, I'm pretty like calm and I can sit for a long time, but uh, I think we underestimate how much effect, our phones and uh, Instagram and all that have on us. So you just want to steady kind of detoxed psyche before you go in. Okay, tip number two: have money saved for an emergency. I would say 5 to 10,000 or whatever you think, but you don't want to like have like a health scare like I kind of had, and then not be able to to handle it, which is what I did. I had like $1 or $2,000 in my bank account, and then basically got jacked, and then couldn't handle it, and I had multiple emergency room visits, and couldn't pay for it. So it took me a while to pay for it, anyways. So yeah, you even just for the psychological, um, I don't know, cushion or safety net type of feel. You don't want to feel like you're in like no man's land. All right, number three. Okay, this is the most important one. Ease into it. This is if I could do it again. I did a 12-day retreat with 4 sessions spaced out. If I could do it again, I would do. So they offered a large dose and a small dose. I was more or less smart on the first time. Did the small dose, and same thing on the second time. Although I went back for a second round on the second night. But if I were doing it over again, I would do a quarter, maybe even an eighth, but a quarter of the small dose on on your first time doing ayahuasca. Even like with a new batch, I would say, um, I don't want to like scare people away from it or anything, but yeah, just start small. So I would, if I were doing like 4 sessions, I would do a quarter of a small dose, an eighth of a small, or next time do half of a small dose, and then like 3/4 of a small dose, and then your last time do like a small dose, um, or just ease into it. Don't let the different shamans will try to tell you like, oh, the spirits told me to pour you this much, and that's how much you need to drink, but it's your body, and I mean, this shaman wasn't like that, but um, do the small dose, and don't even don't even do the whole small dose, because I had a freak out. Like, I mean, you're gonna have bad trips if no matter what, but uh, just yeah, even with the small dose, I was like, "Ugh." So I couldn't tell whether I was able to breathe. Like I couldn't monitor my lungs. There was like a gap between my breathing and like whether I could monitor whether I was breathing or not. So I was like freaking out. I was like perpetually like for like half an hour. I just couldn't. I felt like I was on the verge of like suffocating. It's I feel like I aged like a year in that time alone. That first session, which wasn't even as bad as the second session, and I didn't go back for a third and fourth. So I just wrote some notes here. Yeah, so ease into it. Blah blah blah. Oh, and it goes for all psychedelics. So I would say, even like weed for me, if like, even one hit of strong weed for me can make me like trip visually and like make my neck and lungs feel like I'm I don't know like I'm dying. But I mean, depends on your level of experience. But yeah, ease into it. All right, number 4, basically the same as number 3, and the tip is it's better to feel too little than too much. And I just kind of felt like repeating myself because, goddamn, you don't want to f yourself super hard. You don't want to overwhelm your psyche or your brain chemistry or your body. Um, so yeah, again, better to feel almost nothing than to feel more than you can handle, which is what I did and what some people do. So yeah, I just want to reiterate that, etch it into your mind, and yeah, I had a like 6 to 8 month hangover. Balls. It was just like I can't even describe it. It was like just like dread every day and night, and I couldn't sleep, and I was like desperate for sleep because I was underslept, but I couldn't fall asleep, and it just upset my brain chemistry. So ease into it, man. Better to feel too little than too much. Number 5, try and wrap up here. Beware or be wary of nicotine and additives. A lot of times they'll add tobacco leaves to the brew, and I think maybe the main reason I had such a hard time might have purely been from the nicotine. Maybe they used too many nicotine leaves in the brew, or maybe I'm just particularly sensitive or whatever. But that could have been the reason for the tough time I had. And honey. This dude, he put honey in the ayahuasca, which he actually didn't list on the website when I was doing research. I'm fairly certain. But anyways, yeah, I smelled this honey like they had it sitting out on the table, like where we were eating, and it was like rancid and like it did not like honey shouldn't really smell, and this was like bleh. It's like the worst smell, and we drank that, I guess. So I don't know whether like this particular little can of honey got like freaking like a bug laid AIDS in it or something. I don't know. It smelled like rancid honey or just some really weird honey I don't know about. But yeah, that could have messed with my with the effect it had on my body. All right. So be aware of that stuff and ask. Always ask. Okay. Number 6. Arrange for a better sleeping situation. Okay, so probably you're thinking of going to one of these jungle retreats, like in Peru or Brazil or whatever. And jungle retreats are nice, but it's the jungle's loud. Even with my earplugs, I could barely sleep. And then like we had the mosquito nets and stuff, but still the bugs, and yeah, the bugs are crazy, dude. And there was like a rat building a nest like 2 feet from my head like all night. It was like it was very hard to fall asleep, hard to stay asleep, and then like monkeys, loud monkeys like going overhead at night. I mean, it's a cool life experience, but if you're gonna go like slam the hell out of your brain, you need to be able to recover properly. You need to be able to sleep. So that could be why I didn't recover properly in the days and weeks and months prior, because I simply didn't get a good night's sleep. You know, I had, after my first trip, I had like two or three all-nighters. So it's like combined with ayahuasca, that's not a good time. All right, so I would either sleep outside the city or outside the camp in a hotel or something, or try to get one of your own huts. If you know, I don't know. It's fun being like bunked with other people, but you gotta get your sleep situated. So yeah, I would either do it in your own country, or if you do it in South America, then yeah, arrange for better sleeping because you need to recover. Okay, number 7. Speak the language. Speak the language of the place you're going, or else just do it in your own country or somewhere where you speak the language, because I found myself like in the middle of Iquitos, Peru. I speak like a couple words of Spanish, but I can't get by. And I was like freaking out, man. I was freaking out. I'm like alone and I don't speak. I mean, I might tell the story some other time, but I don't speak Spanish, so my brain's like, I'm tripping. Like, this is like a day and a half after I tripped, and then my brain's starting to trip. Yeah. So either bring someone who speaks the language and always stay with them, or do it somewhere where you speak the language. And number 8 would be maybe don't even do it. Don't even do ayahuasca. I would just ask you, like, well, I mean, it's up to you, but like, what's your hurry? Yes, you should be voracious for like learning and knowledge and stuff, but brain chemistry is delicate, so I would say at least consider not doing it, or probably better just, ease into it. And this all goes for everything I've said so far goes for DMT, mushrooms, any psychedelic. So I mean, even alcohol if you've never tried alcohol. But hope this helps. Hope this helps somebody. And okie doke. See ya.